Hey, it's your girl Barbie J. Welcome to my channel. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's Zatima, Season 4, Episode 2, Spring Forward. And the synopsis for this episode reads, Zach and Fatima clash as they prepare for parenthood, and Bryce attempts to make things right with Angela. And it's funny because I forgot to tell y'all in the last episode, episode 1, Bryce stayed after with Angela saying, do you need me to stay here to protect you? And she was like, no, I don't need you. He said, you think I can't protect you? She said, it's not that. I just don't need your protection. Thank you. And so Bryce left. He's so funny. I swear he was hiding behind furniture when the fighting was going on. I mean, did anybody see him throw a punch, throw a chair, throw a lamp, throw a book, anything? I'm just saying. But anyway, before we get started with this recap and review, if you are new here or if you are returning and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment and join the conversation. Give us your 2 cents and then share, because sharing is caring and you want to help a sister's channel grow. Thank you. So this episode began with it being 4 months later. 4 months later. See, I don't like when they do that. They did something like that on Sisters and they didn't explain a lot of things that happened. Anywho, it's 4 months later. Fatima has a new hairstyle. She is like super duper pregnant. She looked like she's having twins herself and that she about to pop any day. We learned that they're having a boy. Zach is buying all these sneakers and stuff for the baby that hasn't even been born yet. And so the first thing that's coming to my mind is, what happened with Leslie showing up at the apartment? Did Angela tell Fatima and Zach that Leslie came into the house with a key? I mean, this is something important. That was an important scene. And I hate when they do stuff like this, because when will we find out about it? You know what I mean? When were we going to find out if Angela ever told her? Because it doesn't seem like she did. But anyway, the next thing I'm noticing is that Crystal's face is so chubby and fat. So I'm assuming that she had to gain weight to do this part. I mean, I don't know if they have makeup out there that can make your face look fuller like that. I mean, I've seen her in other events off of the show lately, and her face does look big like that. Like, you know how a woman's face sometimes get fat when they are pregnant? I said, well, today she did a good job, and even her voice sounds different. And she's heavier in all these different areas. But I tell you one thing, at least her prosthetic belly looks better than Karen's did in Sisters, you know. So anyway, we see Zach putting together the crib, and the doorbell rings. Fatima answers the doorbell, and it's for Zach. It's a process server. And he's being served because Heather's aunt is suing for custody of little Michael and asking for child support as well, saying that Zach and Heather are unfit parents. And Zach is like, every time I take 2 steps forward, I get knocked 10 steps back. So now we have Sean calling Angela, saying he haven't seen her in a minute and he want to take her out on a date. And she's like, okay, cool, because she like going out on dates. She just want to make sure he ain't taking her to some simple place like the Cheesecake Factory. Anyway, when she hangs up with him, then she gets a knock at the door, and it's Bryce. And he's like, he got some good news for her. So he sits down and has her search for herself online, and she can't find any of those videos that was up there before. And she was like, even the nasty comments are gone. And she said, how was he able to do it? Because even Malachi couldn't. And he said he had a friend in the cyber crimes unit, you know, some kind of connection. And they scrubbed all her videos from the internet. And he felt it was his responsibility to get it done, since he was partially responsible for it happening with those surveillance cameras that he had installed. And so, you know, Angela, she's like, you right about that. But then she hugs him and thanks him, and he gets weird because he starts, oh, I miss your hugs. They're so soft. And she backed up off him and said, see, you always got to ruin it for everybody. So then he decides that he's going to leave, and then she offers him to stay to eat. And then he said, really? Okay, I'll get my spend the night bag. She was like, slow your roll. Ain't no spend the night bag, nothing. She said you can eat and then leave. And then she cleared that up and said, eat food. Like, you're not going to eat me. I said, oh, Lord, that's too funny. Then there's this quick scene with Fatima and Zach. And he's just sitting on the couch really upset about this whole thing. And he's like, he doesn't even know if he wants to fight to try to get Michael back because he's been taken from him so many times. He's thinking, does Michael even want to be his son? So Zach is going through some things, and Fatima's trying to keep him uplifted, saying that he's going to be an amazing father, a wonderful father, awesome father to this child that we're carrying right here. And that's how we're going to win this case, she said. And Zach is like, I just want to be a good dad. She said, don't worry, you will. And then the baby kicks, and she takes his hand and put it on her stomach, and he gets to feel the baby kicking, and it lights up his face. He is so excited, and he's like, that's my little kicker. I bet he or she is going to be dunking as soon as she come out of the room. So I am wrong. I thought when the episode first started, they said it was going to be a boy, because then Fatima did say after he or she finishes her piano lesson. And so I was like, what did I hear at the beginning? I swear I heard that it was a boy. So forgive me, I stand corrected. But Fatima want to make sure, whether it's a girl or a boy, that their child will be cultured. And they both want to make sure their kids know how to fight. So they on the same page with that. So she leaves out and to go to the yoga studio to meet up with Angela, and she runs into Deja by the driveway. And of course, Deja is with the fat jokes, whereas Fatima want to go over there and pop her one, but she doesn't. She doesn't. But what I did notice is that Deja asked about Preston. So for some reason, I already thought they were a couple, but we're going to find out that they're not actually a couple. And Fatima's like, why are you asking about him? She said, I still got time to tell him he'd be making a big mistake by messing with you. And she's like, okay, I'm sorry. She's like, but I'd be the best thing that ever happened to him. Deja. Deja was the comic relief. She was funny. She up there calling Fatima big girl and talking about being large and in charge, So anyway, so now we have Connie. She's in the hospital getting chemo treatment when her oncologist walks in. I think his name is Dr. Chantis, asking how she's doing, and she's asking why they're upping her dosage, and he's letting her know that the cancer is spreading. And he said that she missed a couple of her treatments, and she's like, I don't have anybody to help me get my kids. And he's like, she needs to get her village involved and put her, pride aside and ask for help. And she keeps saying that she don't have anybody, but she actually does. I think that Tony, Nathan, and Zach would help out if she reached out and let them know the situation, especially since the doctor said this is a life or death situation. So what do you guys think? Put it down in the comment section if you think they would look out and help Connie, because Dr. Chantis did tell her that she still have another 3 months of treatments that she has to go through. So Connie is concerned, like, what if this chemo doesn't work? How long do I have to live? And he said, look, I believe you have a good chance of survival. I just need you to keep your mind in the right place and fight this. So that was a hopeful message that he gave her. Hopefully she'll listen to it, though. So next we have Fatima meeting Angela at the yoga studio, and Angela updates her about Bryce removing the videos from the internet and about Sean wanting to take her out on a date. So Fatima's happy about that, and then she lets Angela know about Zach being sued by Heather's aunt, saying that he's an unfit father. And Angela's like, that's messed up. He shouldn't have to pay for his past forever. So Fatima's telling her they're going to fight it. And Angela's saying maybe she shouldn't fight it and just let it go, saying most women would use this opportunity to keep their man to themselves, and they won't have to deal with no baby mama drama. But what I found interesting in this scene, and I don't know if anybody else noticed it, that when Fatima said to Angela that is Zach's child, Angela said, she's like, I swabbed the baby myself. We took a home DNA test. They didn't take a home DNA test. I thought she took it to the lab at her job. Wasn't that what she supposed to have done, y'all? Somebody put it down in the comment section. I thought that's what it was. But they had Angela do this whole thing like, I don't know about that. Those DNA tests mess up or something like that. So I'm like, what is going on, y'all? I'm getting confused already, and we just now starting. Then we see Connie still in the hospital getting her chemo treatment, and she decides to call Zach to say, hey, but he's so focused on that lawsuit and being sued that he's distracted. Let's put it that way. So, but then all of a sudden he hears her voice and he's like, you sound weird. What's up? And she says nothing, that she's fine. She just hadn't heard from him in a while and wanted to talk. But then the next thing you know, he has to jump off the phone because he's getting a call from Preston. But he lets her know that he's planning a baby shower and to be looking out for an invitation, to come soon. And she's like, okay, cool. And tell Fatima, I said, what's up? And he said, I got you. But she looks so sad hanging up saying bye. I guess she doesn't have the strength or whatever it is to tell him. Her pride is in the way. Her pride is in the way of her saving her life. So anyway, now we have Preston. He was expecting Zach to meet him at the office to see their new digs or something like that. And Zach said he completely forgot. And he said he's going to try to get out of his chores and make it there to meet him. So Preston's like, yo, you good? And Zach's like, honestly, no. He said, anything I could do to help? He said, unless you know a good custody attorney. And he said, I actually do. And Zach was like, word? It's just so funny. But it's Preston's ex. And he said, I won't give you no problems, especially not with Deja around. And he said, I ain't dating Deja. He said, does she know that? Because she keep asking about you. That's so funny. And then Preston also wants to know what to bring for dinner tonight. He said, I guess he was going to Zach and Fatima's for dinner. And he said he was thinking about bringing gumbo. So Zach is like, cool, I'll let Fatima know it and she could just make the sides. So they hang up and Preston said, I'll see you tonight. Then we have this last scene that's a bit confusing to me. So I'm going to need your help down in the comment section with at the barbershop where Tony grabs that envelope of money and he's looking at it and counting it and stuff. And Mr. Tyrone comes in and he's like, well, what are you doing? What's that behind your back and stuff? And I'm like, why is there an envelope with money just sitting on the counter open? That's the first thing that got me. But then whose money is it? And Mr. Tyrone is like, you stealing money from your own shop? And he's like, it's not like that. And then he said, I told you don't have to worry about that situation anymore. It's over. And Tony said, I'm making things right. And Mr. Tyrone said, with who? But Tony didn't answer him. All he said is, that's all you need to know. And he left out of the shop, went back to the old neighborhood and put some money in an envelope, not even sealed, down in front of somebody's door, knocks and walks away. Now, who said the person was going to be there at home? He didn't even wait to see if somebody answered the door. And then he only walked away. If you're trying to hide, you should have ran away because she opened the door and could see him walking away. I'm just saying. But now I'm going to have to go back because for some reason I feel that it has to do with that guy that Tony shot last season when he was trying to rob the barbershop. I think Tony was able to shoot him, or maybe Mr. Tyrone was there and shot him. I don't know. No, it has to be Tony who did it. But remember, he was alone and they never let us know what happened that day in the barbershop. And I'm thinking Mr. Tyrone knows something that might have helped him get rid of the body or whatever. There's something more to this story because we were left hanging last season. Put it down in the comment section what y'all think. But something was said, I think it was in episode 1, when Zach was in the hospital telling Tony and Nathan that he ain't never wanted to end somebody so bad than Jeremiah. Nathan was telling him to calm down the anger because it'll eat him up inside, and letting him know that Jeremiah ain't worth going to prison over forever. And Tony was saying, man, you don't want killing somebody to be on your conscience. And Zach looked at Nathan looked at him, but they didn't say anything. So that's what this is about. He has that on his mind. Tony has that on his mind, what he did last season, killing that kid who tried to rob the barbershop. Bing, bang, boom. Put it in the comment section if y'all think I'm right about that. So that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about it. I thought this episode was at least a 9.5, I would have to say. Only because I wasn't sure about the connection with this barbershop stuff. So maybe I'll just give it a 9. They didn't connect it well enough for me. And maybe y'all understood or got it, but I figured it out. So I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, because sharing is caring and you want to help my channel grow. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.